Welcome, everybody, to this amazing episode of the Virtual Engagement Ideas Seminar Summit Series. We've got a very special guest today, Dave Kelly. Hello, Dave. It's good to see you.
Hi. Good to see you too, Jason. Good to see everybody out there.
Dave was the 2019 Campus Speaker of the Year, honored by the Association for the Promotion of Campus Activities. And what an honor to get that award, but what an honor for you to be here with me. So, again, thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm very honored to be here with a rock star.
Oh, stop it. Okay, so you're also known. Here's the other thing that I love. You are known as America's Student Leadership Trainer,
Right.
right? Which I am so grateful for because you've left me the rest of the world.
Well, you know what's really great about that title? I get
Yeah.
students who ask me how I got it, and I
Uh-huh.
explain
Yeah.
I gave it to myself.
Right.
That's the best kind of title you can have.
There it is. Right. Yeah, but I mean, I guess I should say thanks on behalf of all the other speakers that you have left us other continents and countries and
Canada's open. You can have that.
no one's claimed Canada. I'm going to be Canada's speaker entry. I'm going to claim my last name is LeVasseur. I'm
There you
French.
go.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I love it.
Well, more about you. You've spoken at more than and trained at more than 250 different colleges and universities and over 100 higher education conferences. So you know your stuff.
I think so, yeah.
You know your stuff. And you got the 2019 award, which is impressive. But I noticed that we decided that we're going to be intimate and share our own personal spaces today.
Right.
Right. So you got those three things on the wall behind you. I want to bet you. I'm going to bet you a cheeseburger. I'm going to bet you a cheeseburger that those are your only awards.
A cheeseburger. Do I
I'm
get
going to bet you
fries?
a cheeseburger that those are your only awards. Prove me wrong, Dave Kelly.
I shall prove you wrong with my wall of fame. And you can see my lighting there is blocking some others.
All
But
right, oh man, what a wall! That's awesome.
you
Yeah.
know, a lot of those awards are for doing community service work, which is another thing I'm known for doing.
Yes, and that's why really what I want to talk to you about today, because even though you're an amazing presenter, an amazing speaker, and a wonderful person in the world, one of the greatest impacts I think that you've had is in your ability to help students create community service events. And we are today discussing the virtual side of it, where we went from you being an in-person facilitator to being a virtual facilitator to being somebody who's inspiring advisors and students to look beyond their campus community into the community at large. So your sort of the language that you use is a serving leader, right?
Yes.
Could you please explain that to me?
I came up with that term when I was doing programs. I do have a leadership program around being a serving leader. And I was doing it at a school and I kept using the term servant leader. And the students that I was speaking to really didn't seem to connect with that because they felt like it made them somehow it was an attitude of more of servitude
Mhm.
rather than of being a voluntary type of thing. And
Mhm.
so I've defined it for people that servitude is involuntary, servant leader is an attitude, serving leader is putting that attitude into action. And so that's what I encourage students to be, is to be a serving leader, put it into action.
Right, that's wonderful. I
Yeah.
love that. Serving leader. Fast as you can, fast as you can. Which of these in your opinion, is the better serving leader?
Mm.
John McEnroe or Bjorn Borg?
You know what? I'm going to have to say Bjorn Borg, because if you've ever seen McEnroe play, he's very boisterous, argues with the referees, and I think that's more of a selfish leader. Now, this is sports, so it's a little different,
We're learning
but
yet.
I think it's probably that he's all about himself in that environment, and just using it as a microcosm. Great on the tennis court, probably not great everywhere else.
Well, you answered that. Wait, see, that's the thing. Your brain is so big. I was only trying to make a joke about serving, right? Because, see, serving tennis, I have to explain it to myself.
Well, I thought about that, but I really don't know which one of them was better at that, so I
I don't
decided
either.
not to
I
go
don't either.
there.
I was being silly. I want to have fun with you today.
That's
Okay.
cool.
My next question, which one of these in the early parts of their career was a better serving leader? Gordon Ramsay or Julia Child?
Oh, wow. Um, you know, I'm going to actually say both, but in very different ways.
Okay. Okay.
Julia Child was all about teaching the average person how to make great food and different recipes and things like that. And even though Gordon Ramsay's approach is very abrasive, he really wants the best for those restaurateurs that he's working with. He
Right.
wants them to be successful. And so I think that's it. It's just a different approach to things. And he's trying to get them to his definition of excellence
Right.
and help them to do better. So that's the best I got on that one.
That was, I mean, but right away, like you're thinking way beyond what I was looking for. Like you actually thoughtfully answered those questions, right? And it was that's the beauty of it. Like, thank you for doing that. I was trying to just make jokes about serving, right? Because early in their career, those master chefs had to start somewhere, right?
Right, right.
And we all have to start somewhere to become the master chefs at what we do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. And when you think about the restaurant, it is all about service.
Yeah.
So I think that probably both of them have a win there. Different eras that they grew up in.
Right. I am glad that you swung and hit at those curveballs. Thank you. All right. So what have been some of the most like the best programs that you've seen over the last few months that schools have been able to do virtually, community service?
A lot of it is the idea of what can they do at home to
Mhm.
benefit others.
Okay.
And so that's what I've encouraged schools who've contacted me, or when I've seen people post in different groups asking, what can we do? I've offered some suggestions for them. One of my favorites, whether you're in person or at home, is something called a Doggy Tug Toy.
Oh, cool.
And this is made from an old t-shirt or a couple of old t-shirts, because you can see it's multicolored. And what you do is you take a t-shirt, cut it into 3 strips about an inch wide, all the way around the shirt, and then knot it at one end, braid it, and knot it at the other, and then donate it to an animal shelter. So as a virtual project, this is great in that the students can do this at home. They can even do it with their family. Great thing to get kids involved with. Actually, when I made this one as a demonstration that I was doing for someone, one of our cats actually helped me to make this dog toy. So cats like them too.
Right.
You can either take them to the shelter yourself or maybe collect them somewhere on campus. The
Right.
shelter that I go to here near our house has outside donation bins, and you can just put the things in there. And so that to me is a great project. And you could do it over Zoom as get everybody in a Zoom room cutting. Somebody doesn't know how to braid. Okay, here's how you do it. And you can be talking and interacting at the same time that you're doing the service. So it doesn't have to be a solo thing. You can make it into an event.
Right. And you're really creating the community of creating something together, right? You're
Yeah.
bringing students together. How's it been going for you? I think you've been on Zoom quite a bit with students. Um,
I have been. I've been
yeah.
doing programs for schools. I've also been doing some webinars and had some great reactions to that. Got a
Yeah.
lot of things coming up. So I think we're going to be in this virtual world for a while.
Yeah.
And even after the virtual or after the pandemic's done, I think this is going to be an opportunity for us to do things we couldn't otherwise do.
Right.
I've got a school in California in 2 weeks that I'm speaking to on a Friday afternoon 1 week, and then again the next week.
Right.
2 different topics, but it's easy to do. I don't have to fly out there.
Right.
And so we're going to be able to do things like that. I have a school in Tennessee where I'm doing 3 straight nights,
Uh-huh.
and the lodging and the travel and the meals would have
Right.
cost them a lot of money, but instead we're just going to do it right here.
Yeah.
We'll employ the green screen for those,
Right.
but
Yeah. You'll hide your awards because I asked for this.
ideal.
I want everyone to know that I asked specifically to get a glimpse of those.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I wanted this to be more intimate. I wanted everyone
Oh,
to
I
see it.
agree.
And I mean, to be fair, everybody should know that this is a piece of paper on a wall. Just I'm sharing of mine, and I'm in a Spanish classroom. Believe it or not. Look here, I'll give you a little quick tour.
Oh,
Spanish classroom, Spanish classroom. Right? It just happened. My daughters happen to take dance classes here, and there are no classes going on. So anyway, there. Enough about me. Engaging the students in the act of creating the community service.
yes.
So it's like a multi-level thing where you're having an event, you're creating community with your students,
Sure.
and you are doing something for the betterment of the community. Right?
Yeah, yeah, and another project, and if I can share my screen real quick, I'll show
Yeah.
you
Let
some
me-
images that I think will help, and it can be done in the same way. Oh, you'll need to enable the screen
I
share.
did. I'm fast. I got the Zoom finger.
You got it already?
I think you're a co-host already. Yeah.
That's why I had to put my glasses on to see why I couldn't share my screen.
No, let's do it.
Let's see. There it is. Can you see that little guy?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
This is a character called Flat Stanley,
Yeah.
and he's been around for a long time.
Yes.
There's probably about 40 versions of this, but I have the use of 4 of these from the author and the publisher to do service for people who are connected to the military, either
Okay.
people who are serving, veterans, people who are in military hospitals. You can see the students. These are actually from conferences or school events where students have taken the image of Flat Stanley and colored him, and you can actually at the bottom give him a name, or you can even make it a her if you'd like,
Cool.
by adding some features. You can see, put some hair on here, a little ribbon to make this a more of a female character. This is a ponytail. I remember this one. This student looks like this.
Oh,
So
great. Great.
she drew herself as the Flat Stanley and gave her a female name. So these are some great things you can do. And again, you could do, I have the templates. At the end of this, I'll give you my email address,
Cool.
and people can email me. And as long as they use it for military service support, we have permission to do that.
That's
There's
great.
an organization that I've been giving these to. I just sent over 500 of these to them, called Operation Gratitude.
Great.
And you can find them. I found them by Googling Operation Gratitude, and they send care packages overseas, but they like to put pictures, notes, letters, cards. So you can even do more than just Flat Stanley with that program.
Sure,
And they
sure.
put those in the care packages.
This
And
is this is a really neat way for students to do community service. And
Yeah.
Flat Stanley is a trademarked character, so you,
Yep.
you did get permission. So
I did. And so if they email me, I don't just post those templates because I want to make sure they're doing something,
yeah,
to respect the wishes of the author. I like this one. This one was done at a conference, but this was a student who came up to us doing this project, and she looked at it and she goes, "Wow, my unit got one of these."
oh cool.
And you can see she was in Operation Enduring Freedom. And so she drew one to send out, and she told us they had it up in their barracks. They
Right.
sent it up in a drone. They did all kinds of things. So yeah, so really a great little character. That's a great thing to do. And again, you could do the Zoom session with everybody to be coloring while you're doing it,
Right.
doing having lunch or whatever you want to do,
Right.
and then collect them together, and then you ship them off to Operation Gratitude or however you want to do it.
Right. So that's cool. So we did the dog toys,
Mhm.
Operation Gratitude. I know you've got a whole bunch of other ideas. Can we have one more? Can we have one more?
Ooh, I got one quick one and then another one I'll share.
Oh, great.
Talk,
Thanks. Thanks.
talk about being intimate here today.
Yeah.
There is actually a project you can do with these where they
Okay.
become like this.
All right.
Because I know you have all of these because the stores don't. So you probably got some of these. This
Yeah.
is again to support dogs in animal shelters.
Okay.
What you do is when you get like this and paper towel holders, donate them to the shelter. They'll put a treat in the middle, put peanut butter on either end, and then freeze it. And then they give it to the dogs, and the dog has to try to figure out how to get the treat.
Oh my gosh.
So not only is it play and it's fun, but it helps develop the animal's cognitive development, because they have to try and reason out how are they going to get that treat. So it's actually a beneficial thing for the dog as well.
Well, could you make me one? Because I need to improve my I need to improve my cognitive.
I got a whole bag of these. I can make you a bunch of them.
Hey, I love peanut butter and I love treats. This is perfect.
Treats, there you go. You got it all.
And I definitely need to be smarter.
Yes. Now, another project that you can do, and this might be something where a school would want to work with an elementary school. A lot of places like here in Atlanta, the schools are going to be online. So you got kindergartners, first graders, second graders who are not getting to interact with other people, but
Yeah.
maybe a club or an organization or a programming board could get together and they could read stories to the kids over Facebook Live, over
Great.
video, something like that. Actually, this one I did on a Facebook Live and it got over 1,000 views.
Oh, how fun.
So there's a desire for this. And again, I did some research, and the public policy director of the American Library Association says that type of thing would be considered fair use because
Okay.
it's in an educational environment
Right. You're reading it live to school
and
children.
not charging for it.
Did you encounter any folks from the library or from any of the organizations that, like, what considerations do you have to think about when you're promoting an event to children versus college students? Did that come up at all?
It didn't really. In a case there, I think the main thing that I would suggest as someone, I have read to kindergartners for over 20 years,
Right.
is coordinating with a school and even a local teacher so
Yeah.
that they know what books you're going to read.
Right.
Whenever I go on site to read, I worked with the same teacher now for 15
Right.
years, so she
You
knows
you have
pretty
clear,
much what I'm going to bring, but
you have clear.
certain books that are going to be appropriate for that age.
Yeah, because I wonder what we need to think about, and we should always think about this, is, getting obviously, if with younger kids, they'll be logging on probably with a parent's email,
Right.
so there will be parental approval, and when streaming, I guess from the thinking, so I would give advice to students here. If you do this as a service and you are live streaming on camera, consider what you're wearing. Consider what that can be seen in your screen. Like if you're in a residence hall and you've got a big Bud Light poster behind you, maybe that's not the best thing to have when you're reading to a school group. Just things to think about from a parental perspective. And this is coming from a dad
Sure.
and a summer camp counselor. That when we're working with children, we have to really be a little bit more sensitive. When we're working with college students, we need to be sensitive, but they are adults.
That's true. That's a good point. And just thinking about when you were a kid, you want to read it, show the pictures,
Yeah.
let them see it, let them ask questions
Right.
if they can. Now, sometimes this might be recorded, so they may not have that chance, but it's still a great thing to do for kids. Actually, I started doing it with a sorority in Louisiana that supports Children's Hospital down there. And they asked for something, and I said, here, I got an idea. I did a recording. I sent it to them, and they turned that into a project.
It would be fun to get together with a group of friends and read kids' books to each other. I mean, to me, that sounds like it would be a funny event for us, right? Like, I'm going to read you Dave, and our other friends. We get together and we're like, hey, it's story hour, friends, and we all bring a different book. Like, so the ideas are there. Like that's not so much community service. That was selfish kid book reading. Okay.
But that's a great virtual event, and we have to also think about where our students are right now.
Yeah.
They aren't on campus. Depending on what kind of school you have, they may not even be near campus. And how are you going to keep them connected? And something like that, something fun like that would be a great thing. My daughter just graduated from high school, and they've been doing FaceTime parties and Google Hangouts. And the big thing that they recently did was they did a top 64 of Taylor Swift songs.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, she just dropped a new album yesterday at midnight. So now they got to redo it.
Oh, wow. So, true confession, the receipt to that new album is in my inbox. Somebody is a fan.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. And because I also have a family full of fans. But what a cool idea. And so they got together and they had a party around a topic.
Right. And they did it all over
That's great.
FaceTime in their case, I think it was.
That's great. Let's get back to the student leader who you work with, and how do students grow as leaders through community service?
To me, pardon me, is exactly how I came to be here today, is that I developed my leadership skills through community service, planning projects, finding things that you could do for people, motivating others to participate, delegating responsibilities, finishing the product, doing an evaluation. It's all about leadership. And as for some people, it comes very naturally, but it's a great way to exercise those skills and develop those now while you're in school in putting things like this together. And to me, the doing service to others, as I told you, is just such a great way to be a true leader because it's outwardly focused. So it's not only just doing the service project, but you're also serving the other students who are involved, whether they're members or people in your residence hall or wherever they might be.
Okay, makes sense to me now. I am learning so much every day from meeting people online. And I love the platform, and I know you've embraced it wholeheartedly. So we got some really cool activities from you, which are going to be helpful for advisors across the country right now to help their students with community service projects.
Right.
On the entertainment side of things, I know that you have a history of stage performance. And I would like to close today maybe with a performance. And I know you weren't expecting this, but the rumor is that you took a sketch from Saturday Night Live.
Oh my goodness. You promised me we weren't going to talk about this, but I'll take it.
But no, seriously, I've just enjoyed our time together, and I feel like celebrating. Should I give it an intro, or do you want to explain exactly where this comes from?
This when I was in high school, I was in the swing choir, so think Glee, and we did a performance of Steve Martin's King Tut at our school in our spring concert.
Right.
And there's 3 verses to King Tut, and we brought a bass fiddle case on, one of those big things. I was actually inside of it for the first 2 verses.
Okay.
And so some of the guys, they carried it on stage, they started spinning it around. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. And when the 3rd verse came on, it was time to sing the 3rd verse, I came out of the bass fiddle case, gold medallions around my neck, gym shorts covered by a very small tunic or whatever that might be called. Yeah. And I sang the last verse, which ended in a standing ovation. So great way to go out as a senior in high school.
And the song is about King Tut. So it's an historical song. It precedes Hamilton in terms of historical songs, right? Like it's
true.
It was your high school's era's Hamilton. How about that?
Yeah, it really was at that time. Yeah.
All right. Well, can you grace us?
Oh, I'm trying to even remember the lyrics.
What some of the funny lines? The one I think is the condo made a stoner.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait. We can also. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a minute.
Oh boy, I can't even remember the lyrics.
All right. Well, let's do this. That's okay. Dave Kelly, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, that one is David Allan Coe. You never even called me by my name.
Oh, would you?
That I can do that.
Okay. This is my favorite part of the day. Like I'm effervescent right now. That's how excited I am. I'm effervescent.
Well, it was all that I could do to keep from crying. Sometimes it seems so useless to remain. Well, you don't have to call me darling. Darling, you never even called me by my name. There we go. It's been a little while, but there you go.
I love it. But big thanks to Dave Kelly. Big waves. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, I like to do one of yours. Do the high five.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
There we go. I love that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, have a great one. Thanks again. See you later.
Thank you, Jason.